If your retreat timeline is a jumbled mess of ASAPs and I'll figure it out, that's not a plan. It's a countdown to chaos. And I get it. Dates, deadlines, vendors, it's a lot to think about. But if you're feeling behind before you've even started, it's probably not you, it's your timeline. So let's fix that. I'm going to walk you through a smarter way to plan, one that's built on real milestones and not pure panic. Let's start with the biggest mindset shift. Planning doesn't start today. It starts with the retreat date and working backwards from there. This sounds simple, but a lot of people tend to do the opposite. They pick the date, book the venue, and then scramble to catch up on everything else. Launching, gathering content, building a team, registering guests, ordering gifts, coordinating meals and transport. All of it seems important because the timeline is squeezing in on them. And when one thing runs late, for example, you're waiting on a chef's menu proposal, or you have to delay the retreat registration website page, suddenly everything falls behind. This is what we call a domino effect. You miss one milestone and everything else collapses after that. If you don't already have it, grab the retreat timeline template down in the description below. It's built specifically to help you avoid this kind of spiral. Working backwards means looking at your retreat date. For example, let's say your retreat is going to be on October 15th. You then need to ask yourself the following questions. When do I want registration to close? When do I want to open? When do I need all my vendors locked in? When do I need to finalize travel, gifts, and materials? And when do my guests need to hear from me? And here's a pro tip. Build in buffer time. I know it's tempting to plan everything down to the wire, but that's how people end up scrambling later on because things will take longer than you think. Vendors get delayed. Clients miss deadlines. You'll get sick. Or something needs to be redone. When I'm managing timelines, especially when other people are involved, I never give them the actual due date. Why? Because I know there's a good chance that not everything's going to be turned in to me on time. Let's say a vendor tells me they need something by October 1st, but I know that I need to pull a file or do some prep or do some work with the client beforehand. So I reverse it. I look at how long I need, and then I fudge the date a little bit when I give it to the client. If I need a day, I ask for it 2 days earlier. If I need a week, I bake that week in. And that's not micromanaging, that's protecting your timeline. Give yourself space to think, adjust, and handle the unexpected before it turns into panic. That's how you take something that feels overwhelming and turn it into a plan that you can actually follow. One that protects your time, your team, and your guest experience. Because no one wants to be printing packets the night before the retreat. You want to show up rested, prepared, and ready to lead, and not rushing around stuffing things in a cute outfit. So let's talk about how far out you actually need to start planning. Because the internet will have you out there thinking you can plan something in just 3 weeks. And technically, sure, you could. But let's be honest, you're not here to just pull it off. This isn't a last-minute girls trip. It's your business. It's your name, your brand, your energy on the line. And we're not aiming for good enough here. We're creating something elevated, purposeful, and dare I say, enjoyable. For most hosts, that all starts with choosing a timeline that works with your energy, your clients, and your business model. Let's start with the 12-month timeline. This is what I recommend for first-time hosts, destination retreats, corporate retreats, or anything that's more high touch or high ticket. It gives you space. Space to think, space to breathe, space to do it well so you don't feel like you're scrambling the whole time. You can be intentional with your launch. You get better vendor options. You have more menu availability. You've got room to shift things if something doesn't go to plan. And most importantly, you're not rushing every decision. The trade-off is that you do have to manage the project over a longer period of time. So if you're not tracking something in a project management system like Asana or Google Sheets, it can start to feel scattered. But overall, the 12-month timeline is a strong option when you want to plan from a place that actually feels organized, thoughtful, and sustainable. Now let's talk about the 6-month timeline. This one absolutely works, especially if you've done a retreat before. You're planning something smaller or local. You've already got a warm audience, a client, and or you're working with a familiar team or venue. 6 months is tight but doable if you do it the right way. There's no room for I'll figure that out later. You need to have your offers mapped out, your venue locked in, and your launch strategy underway almost immediately. The benefit? You stay in momentum. The process moves faster and you have less time to overthink. The challenge, though, is that there's less margin and less space for delays and unexpected shifts. So this timeline works best for people who are already in motion. And then there's the 3-month timeline. And I know someone on Instagram has probably swore they pulled off a retreat in 3 months. And they probably did. But what they probably didn't show you were the late nights, the cut corners, and the energy crash the week after the event. A 3-month retreat timeline really only works if it's local, small, and super simple. You've done this multiple times. You already have a warm audience, and you're basically starting from a template from a retreat you've already done before. Even then, it's risky. There's no room to pause, adjust, or pivot without everything else falling behind. And that's why I don't really teach a 3-month timeline, because it's not just about getting it done. It's about how you feel doing it and doing it well. So here's the bottom line. If this is your first retreat or big vision, start with the 12-month timeline. If you're confident, experienced, and want to hit the ground running, go with the 6-month timeline. And if you're thinking about doing the 3-month timeline, just know that everything will need to be dialed in from day 1. And even then, it's going to be a hustle. And just a reminder, the retreat timeline template I created includes both a 12-month and a 6-month option. You can find it down in the description below. You don't have to guess, it's all mapped out for you. So you can plug in your date and start working backwards right from there. Alright, now that you've got a sense of the timeline that's right for you, let's talk about the milestones that hold your retreat together. Because here's the thing. Most people don't miss deadlines because they're lazy. They miss them because they don't know what the real deadlines are, what needs to happen, and when. Milestones are the big anchor points in your planning. The move this forward or nothing else happens moment. And whether you're planning 6 months or 12 months, these are the things that show up every time. They're all built into the retreat timeline template, by the way. And the timing shifts slightly depending on your overall runway, but the categories stay the same. Let's walk through what they are and when they typically and where they typically fall. Venue and core logistics. This is always one of the first milestones in any timeline. In the 12-month version, I have this happening at about the 10-month mark. In the 6-month version, you'll be doing this immediately. This includes researching and booking your venue, reviewing contracts and insurance, thinking about permits, setup, and weather backups, building your rooming plan, and outlining your space needs. If this doesn't happen early, everything else gets bottlenecked. Guest registration and systems. Once your venue is locked in, your next major milestone is figuring out how people are going to sign up and how you're going to collect payment. And this isn't just about adding a payment link. This is thinking about your full guest-facing experience. It includes choosing your registration platform, writing your sales copy, clearly explaining the retreat's purpose, who it's for, what's included, and what's not, outlining your refund and cancellation policy, setting your pricing, payment plans, and clear booking instructions, and making sure the checkout flow is seamless and mobile friendly. In the 12-month timeline, this is usually happening about 9 to 8 months out. And the 6-month timeline, this is happening in months 1 or 2, so it needs to get started on very quickly. Promotion and marketing. You can't sell what people don't know about. So the next milestone is creating visibility. Think save the date emails, early bird promos, guest expert spotlight, partnership or influencer collaborations, consistent intentional content. In the 12-month timeline, this picks up around 6 and 7 months out. In the 6-month timeline, this is happening by month 2 at the latest. Vendors and guest experts. Whether it's your chef, yoga instructor, massage therapist, or photographer, these people need to be booked, prepped, and communicated with. You'll usually hit this milestone about 8 to 6 months out on the 12-month timeline and month 2 or 3 in the 6-month timeline. And don't forget, they're counting on you for timelines, arrival information, and expectations. So build in time to brief them well. Swag, materials, and supply. Anything you're printing, packing, or gifting needs to be thought of early. You don't want to be thinking about this later when you're in the weeds. This includes choosing and ordering swag, designing schedules or welcome packets, name tags, signage, and handed out materials, printouts, branded or themed extras like candles, notebooks, etc. You'll start planning this out at around the 4-month mark on both timelines. But actual orders should be finalized about 6 to 8 weeks before the retreat. Travel and on-site coordination. This milestone is about creating ease and clarity for both your team and your attendees. It includes gathering arrival times and travel plans, assigning room, confirming shuttle or pickup services, finalizing on-site logistics. This comes into play about 2 months out in both versions and picks up again about 1 to 2 weeks before the retreat starts. Final guest comms. This is the milestone that makes your guests feel fully held. It's where you send a final info email that includes the following: the schedule, what to pack, where to go, what to expect, and who to contact. It shows up at around the 4-week mark in both timelines. And it matters so much more than people realize. In addition to that email, I would also recommend sending another one maybe about 2 weeks out and 1 week out, and maybe even the day before, just showing them and getting them super excited for being a part of this experience. And finally, the post-retreat wrap up and follow up. Just because the retreat is over doesn't mean you're done. This milestone is all about closing the loop well for your guests and for you. This includes sending a thank you message or wrap-up email, gathering feedback from a survey or a quick form, sharing retreat photos or replays if relevant, offering next steps, whether that's joining your next program, staying in touch, or getting early access to your next retreat, and doing your own internal debrief. What worked? What didn't? What needs to shift? This shows up a week or 2 after the retreat in both timelines, and it sets the tone for retreat clients and long-term brand love. You'll see all of these in the retreat timeline template marked out month by month. Think of them like your chapters, and inside each chapter, you have your task list. When you focus on hitting these milestones instead of checking off random boxes, planning gets easier. You stay ahead of the stress, you lead with intention, and you stop waking up wondering what you forgot. Now here's where a lot of people get tripped up. They treat their task list like it's their timeline, and that's a fast track to overwhelm. Milestones are the big anchor point. We have to hit this or nothing else moves forward. Think, book the venue, open the registration, send the final email to guests. Tasks, on the other hand, are smaller to-dos that live under those milestones. Things like researching venues, writing sales page copy, setting up your registration form, ordering name tags, sending the guest reminder email. The problem? When you don't separate these two things, everything feels urgent. You've got 73 unchecked boxes, no sense of priority, and you're left thinking, I'm behind, but I don't even know on what. Here's a better approach. Start with your milestones. Those are your anchors. And then break each one down into bite-sized pieces with mini due dates that fit your schedule. And from there, you can map it all out in your tool of choice. Whether that's Asana, Google Sheets, or a big whiteboard in your office. Let's say your milestone is open registration. Your related tasks might include finalizing pricing and payment plans, writing your sales page, setting up the tech, testing the booking flow, drafting your launch emails. When you separate the milestone from the task, two things happen. One, you can track your progress without drowning in the details. And two, you actually know what matters that week. This is how you lead like a pro, not by hustling harder, but by organizing smarter. So now that you know what your milestones are and how to break them down into tasks, let's talk about how to actually manage it all without losing your mind or your guest list. Because here's the truth. Retreat planning isn't just about the vision. It's about visibility. If you can't see what's coming next, you can't lead it. This is where your timeline becomes more than a list. It becomes your map. And whether you're using a project management tool like Asana or ClickUp, or you just love a good old Google Sheet or Excel spreadsheet, the key is to make it visual, manageable, and tailored to how you work best. Here's what I recommend. Start with a high-level overview. The retreat timeline template gives you a bird's eye view of the planning process, which month you're doing what, and what major decisions are coming up. It's editable in Google Sheets, so you can tweak dates and milestones depending on the date of your event. Color code it. Mark tasks by category like marketing, guest experience, logistics, so that you can easily spot what's falling behind. You can also use colors for priority. Red equals urgent, yellow equals upcoming, and green equals done. Layer in reminders. Whether it's digital calendar alerts, weekly planning sessions, or a project management board, you need a system that reminds you before things catch on fire. I like to do a 30-minute check-in each week to look at what milestone is coming up, what still needs to get done, and who's responsible for what. Because assigning tasks to the right people early, whether that's to a VA, a vendor, or yourself, means fewer last-minute emergencies and way more mental space. Use the tools you'll actually check. If Asana overwhelms you, don't use it. If you live in your calendar, build it there. There is no gold star for using a fancy system. The win is being able to stick to your plan. Because here's what you want: a clear runway, enough lead time to do things well, and peace of mind knowing that you're not missing anything major. If you haven't grabbed it yet, the retreat timeline template gives you structure, dates, and built-in reminders to help you stay on track. You'll find both the 6-month and 12-month version in there, so you can use whichever suits your retreats best. And best of all, it's free, so grab it down in the description below. You've got your plan, you've got your timeline. Now let's make sure your guests actually feel ready too. Because if you're only focused on what happens at the retreat, you might be missing the exact moment when the guest experience really starts. Let's talk about it. The next video is on your screen right now.